Hey man, you liking that Game Boy over there? Yeah, I love this thing. You should check this out. It's a new Game Boy Advance. No, I like playing my Game Boy games. Oh no, it can play your Game Boy games and it also plays new Game Boy Advance games. That sounds pretty cool. Here. Hey, liking that Game Boy Advance? Why don't you try our new DS? Can I still play my Game Boy games? No, it will play the Advance games, but it won't play the Game Boy games. You're gonna have to keep the Game Boy for that. Oh, okay. Here, I guess. Pleasure doing business with you again. Hey, you liking that DS? What about a 2DS XL? Bigger screens, cool design. Hey, no, I'm still doing good. I got the DS, playing my advanced games. I'm good. You can play your DS games on here. You could also play the 3DS games, but without 3D capability. You're gonna need a 3DS for that. Okay, I guess here. As always, pleasure doing business with you. Man, I feel like I gave that guy all my money. Yeah, he did. A user recently asked, how do you organize your video games? And I've been going through some reorganization, adding some more bookshelves. So I think this is a perfect time to let you in on the method. I'm not sure how everyone else is going to do this, but usually what I'll do is I'll have everything alphabetically. Honestly, it's the easiest way to find anything, right? I can just come to any of my Nintendo 64, Nintendo, Wii, Xbox, anything that I have, and just kind of find it alphabetically. Labels out to where I can see them. So for me, keeping everything alphabetical just makes it a little bit easier for me to find. Anytime that I need to go to something, someone has a question about a game, I can quickly go to it. If I have a content idea that I want to make about a game, it's really easy to find. And then when I'm searching to see if I am missing a game, it's always the quickest way to find it. So that's just the way my brain works. I prefer to keep everything alphabetical, but some people probably do it by color. So I'd like to hear from you guys. How do you organize your collection? Do you do alphabetical? Do you do it by color? Or do you just kind of throw everything up? All right, good news for gamers with the Nintendo Switch 2, who also hold the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Today, July 3rd, drops a new GameCube game, and as we've all been waiting for, it is Super Mario Strikers. Now, obviously this was a game for GameCube. If you've never played it, think FIFA on Mario Kart steroids. It's arena-type soccer with your favorite Mario characters and goofy power-ups. There's super strikes, giant turtles. You can even put Bowser in there to disrupt everything. You've got supercharged shots. It is amazing. If you've never played any of the Mario Striker games and you have Switch 2 and Switch Online expansion pack, take advantage of this free game and play it now. I know you're busy playing Mario Kart World, or maybe you're logging hours into Wind Waker, which finally showed up for Switch Online. But take a quick break, play this game, and thank me later. Earthbound, loose copy for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System for only $120. But yes, of course, there's a catch. So saw this on the internet, $120 for a reproduction copy of Earthbound for Super Nintendo Entertainment System. All right, so I can see how this seller thinks this is a deal. Right now on price charting, a loose copy of an actual Earthbound copy is $367. And this is a third of the price, $120. But this is a reproduction, which blatantly means it's a fake. It's not real. So why is it $120? Why is it not $10, $20, maybe even $30? Maybe $30. That's still pushing it a little bit. But why not $10 or $20? I mean, if you really wanted to play this and you're willing to spend $120, I believe the Nintendo Switch Online for the year for just up to the Super Nintendo edition is $60. So you can play this game for free, have digital saves for 2 years, and not waste your money on this plastic fake copy. Now don't get me wrong, if you want to play a game on your actual retro console system and you cannot find the original, getting a reproduction is not a bad idea. I actually have, I had Mario Kart 64 as a reproduction that I got in a bundle of other games. This was thrown in for free before I got my actual copy of Mario Kart 64. Now, I could play it on Nintendo Switch Online. I wanted to play it actually on the Nintendo 64, but this was free. I would not pay $120 for a game. Even a third of the cost of Mario Kart right now is $35, and a third of that's, what, 10, 12 bucks? Please, please, please don't pay for reproduction games. If you do, like I said, it's not a big deal, but don't pay $120 for this. Please. All right, on today's crappy video game collecting, I have an honest question. How easy is it to repair broken discs? I've seen a lot of things where you can resurface a disc, get rid of some of those easy scratches on the top. Sometimes it will get rid of the deeper scratches, but I've never heard of anybody fixing a disc that's been broken in half. So I really want to make fun of this right here, selling it for 15 bucks. Not working, obviously not working, but is there any market in getting a disc that's been broken like this. I'm not saying for piracy issues, but like if you owned this, it snapped in half. Is there a way to somehow fuse it together or put it in some kind of reader that could then rip it and put it onto like maybe a backup, like a computer backup? You can emulate through it. Is there really any market for this? This is $15. This is maybe half off an actual inbox copy. I think inbox copies are maybe like $30, $35. But I'm asking an honest question while also making fun of it. Can you in any way recover any of the data from this game in its current condition? Help me out here. Bruh. Oh man, I hate that it's raining. What are we gonna do now? Yeah, man, what are we gonna do? Ooh, I've got an idea. Oh yeah? What's that? Wanna go hunting? How are we gonna go hunting? I just said it was raining outside. Dude, I'm talking about playing video games. Oh. Dude, you were right. This was such a good idea. Bang, 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 bang! So I'm playing video games not on this TV. I like to have this one on in the background with some old VHS or DVD videos. And I was watching Ninja Turtles the other day, and I stumbled across something that I don't think many people know. Check this out. Just take a minute to listen to Shredder's voice here.
Oh, Krang, this cooling system you built is worse than useless. It's hotter than Japanese horseradish in here. And now another capacitator is down. The Technodrome needs more power.
I watched both of these shows in the 80s and 90s, and I never once put it together that it was the same voice. And even watching it before today, still would not have thought that Uncle Phil was Shredder. Did anyone else know that those two were the same person? Nintendo Direct today was not trash. Hear me out. So today was another Nintendo Direct, and I've already heard a bunch of negative feedback on there were no new awesome titles, there were no new big developments. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo, just pushing along junk as they normally do. And I normally be on that bandwagon, but there were a couple cool things today. For me, the biggest surprise, and I don't understand how I didn't see this coming, was an update to Katamari games. So there's a new Katamari Damacy game coming out called Once Upon a Katamari. Now, Katamari games, if you've ever seen this channel, is a goofy favorite of mine. It's just ridiculous. You're this little prince guy, you roll around a small piece of trash, picking up other items of garbage, which makes you bigger and bigger and bigger, and the bigger the ball of trash is, the bigger objects you can pick up, until eventually you just get the entire world, the entire solar system. So this is a cool new add-on. There's multiplayer, there's online, there's a friends lobby, like that you can pick up dinosaurs. So for me, this was like a really cool, awesome thing to see Nintendo coming out with. I know I'm a Nintendo fanboy. If you've seen this channel, you can see all the stuff behind me. I like the other games too. I have the other consoles. Nintendo's just the first one that I grew up with, so I'm just always gonna give them my money. But you let me know, how did you feel about the Nintendo Direct? Are you excited about some of these titles, or are you on the other side of the fence where it's, Nintendo Direct was just another letdown? Microsoft's greatest contribution with the Xbox, as far as it comes to the evolution of video games, and I'm not talking about technology, is its hardware for breakaway controllers. If you're like me and you grew up with the evolution of video games, I'm talking about like 80s, 90s, 2000s, you were around to see PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, what have you. And you probably sat through wired controllers. Now, most of these wired controllers are about 6 feet long, only go from the controller to the console, and then maybe an additional 3 feet for the console to the TV. But when the Xbox hit the market, it changed the game. Now, they did have great releases like introducing Halo. That is one of my all-time favorites. Microsoft, kudos for partnering with Bungie and getting that game just off to the races, soaring through the galaxy. That game, amazing. But the introduction of these controllers was crazy. I know I've done some other bits where I kind of make fun of Microsoft and I make fun of the button layouts, but this was innovative. Not only did Microsoft understand that users were limited to the amount of space they had in between maybe their couch and the TV, or the couch and the console, but they understood that once cords get longer, it's just easier to trip on it. So to avoid damaging the system from the controllers coming out, or then being yanked on and maybe pulling the system off of your entertainment center, or off of the table and onto the floor and breaking it, breakaway controllers. This was like the best thing I could see until wireless controllers came out. Now, around the time that Microsoft unleashed the Xbox, GameCube finally did come out with a actual Nintendo branded, a company branded wireless controller. This was all the rage. Wavebirds were amazing, and eventually Microsoft would follow suit and create their own. But in the meantime, when those things were still too expensive, out of the box controller with breakaway cords and 9-foot cables was just the smartest thing I think they could do until wireless technology kept up. Maybe it's just me, but what other technology do you think Microsoft or maybe even Sony or Nintendo came out with that was a game changer at its time that we might not use now, but was the best thing that could happen to video games when it was released?